Matthew Cantrell says, "Hi Ben, have you read Tolkien's short work Leaf by Niggle? If so, what are your thoughts on the beautiful allegory found in it, in spite of Tolkien's usual dislike of the use of allegory?"
Leaf by Niggle is magnificent, and everybody should read Leaf by Niggle and On Fairy Stories together. So it's the most unusual work that Tolkien ever wrote, as far as I can tell, because Tolkien's usually the guy who drafts things out over years or decades, right? Lord of the Rings took him from the late 1930s all the way through the 40s to write. Leaf by Niggle, he wakes up one morning, he has the entire thing in his head, he sits down and he writes it out. And then, as you know, it's this beautiful allegory for both artistic creation, the value of fairy story, the value of art, and how these things relate to the spiritual life. It's wonderful. It's just about, no, I'll take it. The only other depiction of purgatory that I would put close to it is Dante's. Dante's vision of purgatory, Tolkien's vision of purgatory are the two great imaginations of purgatory, I think, in the literary tradition. And the crazy, beautiful thing, my favorite thing about the story is at the end, when Niggle has spent his entire life working on that picture, and everyone has forgot about Niggle in life, that God has taken his picture and made it real. He's made it real. He's made it this earthly paradise that people can progress from purgatory to before they go out from heaven. Have you read this story, Matt?
No.
Okay, so this is fantastic. Niggle is Tolkien, more or less. The picture, which consumes his whole life and sort of takes on this life of its own, is the Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion. He neglects his actual duty sometimes to do this. He dies, he goes to purgatory, right? And when he's on his way out of purgatory before ascending into heaven, there's this earthly paradise stage like Dante gives you.
Yeah.
And it's his picture. He enters into his picture. So if you're doing the whole allegory thing, right? Tolkien seems to be suggesting that, in fact, maybe at the end of his own purgation process, he and others would enter into the Lord of the Rings before they progress onto heaven, which sounds insane until you read On Fairy Stories, where he actually says this exact thing, that God in his infinite bounty might condescend to take our feeble works of imagination up and make them real. All of our wishes, all of our bents might be ultimately satisfied, that our works can become real, because in the gospel, legend and history have met and fused. So Tolkien is actually suggesting that creation could be enriched by art in that way, which is a little insane, but also, as pointed out, really, really beautiful.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.